Ezra chapter 8. Ezra's caravan. These are the heads of the ancestral houses and the genealogies of those who returned with me from Babylon during the reign of King Artaxerxes. Of the descendants of Phinehas, Gershon. Of the descendants of Ithamar, Daniel. Of the descendants of David, Hattush, son of Shechaniah. Of the descendants of Parosh, Zechariah. And with him 150 males were enrolled. Of the descendants of Pahat-Moab, Elihonah, son of Zeriah, and with him 200 males. Of the descendants of Zatto, Shechaniah, son of Hahaziel, and with him 300 males. Of the descendants of Adin, Ebed, son of Jonathan, and with him 50 males. Of the descendants of Elam, Shia, son of Athaliah, and with him 70 males. Of the descendants of Shephisha, Zebediah, son of Michael, and with him 80 males. Of the descendants of Job, Obadiah, son of Jehiel, and with him 218 males. Of the descendants of Bani, Shelomoth, son of Josaphiah, and with him 160 males. Of the descendants of Babai, Zechariah, son of Babai, and with him 28 males. Of the descendants of Azjad, Johanan, son of Hakatan, and with him 110 males. Of the descendants of Adonikam, younger sons, whose names were Eliphelet, Jeiel, and Shemaiah, and with them 60 males. Of the descendants of Bigvai, Uthai, son of Zachar, and with him 70 males. Final preparations for the journey. I assembled them by the river that flows toward Ahava, where we camped for 3 days. There I perceived that both laymen and priests were present, but I could not discover a single Levite. So I sent for discerning leaders, Elizur, Ariel, Shemaiah, Jerub, Elnathan, Nathan, Zechariah, and Meshullam, with the command for Iddo, the leader in the place Casiphia, instructing them what to say to Iddo and his kinsmen, and to the temple servants in Casiphia, in order to procure for us ministers for the house of our God. Since the favoring hand of our God was over us, they sent to us a well-instructed man, one of the descendants of Mali, son of Levi, son of Israel, namely Sherebiah, with his sons and kinsmen, 18 men. They also sent us Hashabiah, and with him Jeshaiah, descendants of Merari, and their kinsmen and their sons, 20 men. B of the temple servants, those whom David and the princes appointed to serve the Levites. There were 220. All these were enrolled by name. Then I proclaimed a fast, there by the river of Ahava, that we might humble ourselves before our God, to seek from him a safe journey for ourselves, our children, and all our possessions. See, for I was ashamed to ask the king for troops and horsemen to protect us against enemies along the way, since we had said to the king, the favoring hand of our God is over all who seek him, but his fierce anger is against all who forsake him. So we fasted, seeking this from our God, and it was granted. Next I selected 12 of the priestly leaders along with Sherebiah, Hashabiah, and 10 of their kinsmen. And I weighed out before them the silver and the gold, and the vessels offered for the house of our God by the king. his counselors, his officials, and all the Israelites of that region. I weighed out into their hands these amounts. Silver, 650 talents, silver vessels. 100, gold, 100 talents. 20 golden bowls valued at 1,000 darics. 2 vases of excellent polished bronze, as precious as gold. I addressed them in these words: You are consecrated to the Lord. And the vessels are also consecrated. The silver and the gold are a voluntary offering to the Lord, the God of your ancestors. Watch over them carefully until you weigh them out in Jerusalem in the presence of the chief priests and Levites and the leaders of ancestral houses of Israel, in the chambers of the house of the Lord. The priests and the Levites then took over the silver, the gold, and the vessels that had been weighed out, to bring them to Jerusalem, to the house of our God. Arrival in Jerusalem. We set out from the river of Ahava on the 12th day of the first month to go to Jerusalem. The hand of our God remained over us, and he protected us from enemies and robbers along the way. We arrived in Jerusalem, where we rested for 3 days. On the 4th day, the silver, the gold, and the vessels were weighed out in the house of our God, and given to the priest Meremoth, son of Uriah, with whom was Eleazar, son of Phinehas. They were assisted by the Levites Jozabad, son of Jeshua, and Noadiah, son of Binwi. Everything was in order as to number and weight, and the total weight was registered. At that same time, those who had returned from the captivity, the exiles, offered as burnt offerings to the God of Israel 12 bulls for all Israel, 96 rams, 77 lambs, and 12 goats as sin offerings. All these as a burnt offering to the Lord. Finally, the orders of the king were presented to the king's satraps, and to the governors in west of Euphrates, who gave their support to the people and to the house of God.